shine. Fill this land with the Father's glory. Blaze, Spirit, blaze. Set our hearts on fire and flow, river flow. Flood the nation with grace and mercy. Send forth your word, Lord, and let there be light. Good afternoon. We just came home from church. We had members meeting today where we look on what the church did over the past church year and the plans for this upcoming year, and to see how all of us as members can come together to the furtherance of the kingdom while we are here on earth. So the message I'm gonna talk about is what I heard today from our own pastor. Whose servant are you? Whose servant are you? So I'm asking you, whose servant are you? Are you a servant to sin, or are you a servant to righteousness? And hear what it says in Romans 6 verse 16 it was. Know ye not that to whom ye yield yourselves servants to obey, his servants you are to whom ye obey, whether of sin unto death or of obedience unto righteousness. So you have the choice to choose. Am I going to be a servant of sin, or am I going to be a servant of righteousness? And the servant of righteousness is the servant of God. So he touched on 3 points quickly. He spoke about, is it a question about your allegiance? 1. Is it a question about the consequences? 2. Or is it a question about common sense? So in terms of your allegiance, what do you think about? Where do you go? Where do you not go? What do you listen to? Who are the people in your environment? Does that speak to who you are showing allegiance to? And the famous songwriter who sing, I pledge allegiance to the Lamb. You understand? Do you choose to be a servant of sin, which leads to death? You know, the wages of sin is death. Or are you a servant of righteousness? But the gift of God is eternal life. So we have to choose today who we are going to serve. So it is in terms of your allegiance, and it is in your lifestyle. How you live speaks to who you choose, whether you're a servant of one or the servant of the other. Your lifestyle will say that. The other one is a question about consequence. You know that once you choose something, there's a consequence. Once you choose to be a servant of sin, it will lead to death. And death being explained as not in a physical death, you know, because even Christians will die, and you can see everybody dying every day, Christian, non-Christian, everybody are dead. So is it a sense of death in terms of your lifestyle, you're decaying, you degenerate, you don't have any morals, you don't think about nothing positive? And he gave an example which I was very, it was an eye-opener for me. In terms of fake drugs is $1 billion business. Fake drugs is $1 billion business. And he's explained that sometimes the pharmacies don't know, and you, the recipient, do not know. So you can go about your good business. You probably have a sickness. You go to a doctor, them write up a prescription for you. You go to the pharmacy, go fill the prescription. And it's a fake drug filled with just chalk and sugar. It's $1 billion business, and you wonder, why would somebody do that? Because it contributes nothing to society. It does not help anybody. But this is somebody who would have chosen to be a servant of sin. You understand? Why would you do that? And the people them are suffer from something, and you're going to make something fake, which won't help them. Right, so it was given the example of somebody would have chosen the path of death. You understand? Versus somebody who chose the path of righteousness. In terms of how you live, your lifestyle, you go out there and you'll be doing stuff to uplift people, to show love. That is the path of righteousness. Because the gift of life is gift of choosing life give you eternal life. And it's not just eternal life when you die, because you can't be talking about the spiritual realm and heaven and all of that and missing out the quality life on earth. So he speaks to death as being immoral, and you degenerate, and you don't have no heart and no conscience. So you can't see what is happening in society today. A lot of people do something and say, oh my God, them people don't have no heart, they don't have no love in them, they don't have no conscience. Versus somebody who would have chosen life, who is always out there and always have something to encourage you, always have something to inspire you, always have something that will allow you to experience quality life while you're here on earth. So you have to choose. It's a choice, and it comes with the consequence. So you have to choose ye today who you will serve. Am I gonna serve sin, or am I gonna go towards a life of righteousness? And the final one was, it's just common sense to do. Because if you have two choices in front of you, one is death that leads to destruction, leads to a life that is not a quality life per se, immoral, you're just negative, you're just disaster, versus a life that is true, noble, of good report. You just bask in everything, you're uplifted, you're motivated. Which will you choose? You understand? You have to make the choice. And as Joshua said, choose ye today who you will serve. For me and my family, we will serve the Lord. So that is a message for us. We have to choose whose servant you will be, and not just word of mouth choosing, but your lifestyle will say what you actually choose. That is the message for today. Bye.